have two very special guests. Please give a very cheery applause to Joe Johnson and Chris Evans from the newly released movie Captain America: The First Avenger. Hello.
Hey, hello. Hello.
Hi. So, Chris, tell me how you felt being Captain America.
Well, great. This character was a pretty amazing role because he goes along with my own personality. But it was very apprehensive at first because it is a great commitment. And Captain America represents America itself and the whole American dream.
Okay, let's watch the trailer.
Rogers, Steven.
Just give me a chance.
Sorry, son.
I'm saving your life.
General Patton has said that wars are fought with weapons, but they are won by men.
You just don't know when to give up, do you? I could do this all day.
Our goal is to create the greatest army in history.
I should be going with you. Look, I know you don't think I can do this.
This isn't a back alley, Steve. It's war.
But every army begins with one man.
5 tries in 5 different cities. I can offer you a chance.
He will be the first in a new breed of super soldiers.
Why me?
Because the weak man knows the value of strength, knows the value of power.
That wasn't so bad.
That was penicillin.
We are going to win this war because we have the best men.
Now, Mr. Stark.
Nay, will personally escort Adolf Hitler to the gates of hell.
How do you feel?
It's all right.
Your task won't be simple.
Who the hell are you? The first of many.
Your enemy is not what you expect.
I don't know if I can do this.
This is why you've been chosen.
What do you think?
I think it works.
Wow, that was a very good trailer. I liked it a lot. So, there have been lots of comments about Captain America's body. Tell me, Joe, how did you change Chris from being a slender, skinny, queer boy to the big muscly man we have all come to know and love?
Yeah, well, most of the shots were made in LA by a company called LOLA, which specializes in digital plastic surgery. So we used many techniques. One of them, which was the more difficult, it was the process of shrinking Chris's body. Why was it so difficult? Because for one scene we had to make 4 shots of Chris. So first we had to make the shot of Chris alone by himself, then just the public around him, all the people. Then we had to put Chris with the green screen in the background so we could digitally shrink his body. And finally, we had to make a shot like elevating the others so Chris could look shorter, like shrink. So it was really hard. It took us a lot of time, but it was just in the first part of the movie. Just because in the second part, after I enter into the chamber, like his body changes, my body changes. So from that point and on, it just took one scene. Yes, one just scene. Okay. Also, for example, for the close-ups, the other had to look at marks on my chin
where my eyes were supposed to be after the shrinking process. Um, and I had to look at marks on top of the actor's head to represent their eyes. So we have
Yeah,
to
yeah.
change a lot of things.
The second technique we used involved, it was a little bit easier than the first technique, but it involved attaching Chris's head into the body double. So this technique was just used in shots where Chris was sitting or lying down, or when a minimum of physical acting was required.
Wow, you surely made an effort for the audience, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's a lot of techniques. Um, so, what about the uniform? Like, how did you make the uniform? Where did it come from?
Okay, well, for one thing, my shield, Captain's America shield, which serves as both a defensive tool and a weapon, came in four types: metal, fiberglass, rubber, and also we have to use like computer graphics.
Yeah, yeah. We had to make these four shields. So the first shield was the aluminum shield, which it was pretty light, and it was just used for the beauty shots. It looked very good in camera, so we decided to use that one just for the beauty shots. Then we had to make a lighter shield that was aluminum face but with a fiberglass back. So that was the shield that he used in a daily basis, right?
Yes.
And then we had to make the shield. Then we had to make the last shield, which was made of a material called polyurethane, which is sort of like a synthetic rubber, and that was the shield he used for the stunts, for the shots where he had to make stunts and dangerous things, so he wouldn't get hurt. So we used the rubber shield, but it was really difficult, like making all the
Yes, a
shields
lot of-
look alike because
Okay.
of the different materials. But we managed to do that.
Yeah, we make like a lot of shield.
And I suppose they were heavy.
Yeah, some of them.
The aluminum one wasn't that heavy, but the other ones like
The rubber was really heavy.
yes,
Yes, but the shield is a very important part of the movie because
Yes.
it has
like the main
this
Yeah, it
sign.
characterizes
It characterizes.
the star like all that thing.
Well, that's all very good. But something that really surprised the people was Red Skull. I mean, when he takes off his mask and there's a layer of crimson
Yeah.
skull. And I know it's supposed to create drama and fear in the audience. But how did you get to that, to the main enemy being that? How was his making process?
Okay. Christopher Townsend, our visual effects supervisor, said that he looked beautiful because you weren't sure the mask was made of bone, blood, skin, muscle, or if it was just paint. We realized that we had to manipulate his face considerably because you can get a mask smaller than a human's head, but it was like exactly what we want. A quarter-inch mask, looking smaller than a human head, and it had looked like a tight skin wrapped around the bone. It had to look.
We had to thin Hugo's cheeks, hollow out his eyes, remove his eyelashes,
and
and thin out his lower lip.
Yes.
Not to mention remove his nose.
Yeah. However, Red Skull was much easier to create than Skinny Steve, because what I mentioned, that Skinny Steve, we had to make 4 shots in each scene. But the Framester had already gone through the development process, and we developed an approved look. We had to match the lighting and textures from the Framester, and that took almost a week. And then we used PF Track to 3D track his face. Our main issue was to match the constantly changing light of the scene, setting keyframes, muzzle flash, electrical spark, and control every time like he turns his head.
In every shot, we have to control that.
Well, that's all very good. However, we found critics in a webpage called movieguide.org. We have it right here for you. It says, Chris Evans does a fine job as Captain America, and the rest of the cast is also practically perfect. There is some foul language, however. Also, when Red Skull reveals his deformed face, younger children might find that scary. What do you think about that?
Well, I can disagree with the fact that Red Skull appearing might scare little kids. But you know, parents must know what they're taking their children to. It is obvious that Captain America represents our nation. He is the hero of the nation, and it's obvious that in a movie like this, there will be war, fights, a little bit of blood. So it is Red Skull cannot be like that, cannot make that an impact. You know that nowadays the programs for little kids, they have blood, they have foul language. So Red Skull should not be much of an impact.
Okay, according to that, there is no full language. Of course, there are words like damn and hell, but these are words that you hear every day. A woman that takes a 3-year-old girl to a movie where soldiers will appear can expect that, like flowers or teddy bears,
Things like that.
Yes, we want to make soldiers rough. Red Skull is rough. Those were rough times. People were changing, and girls now were soldiers.
I think that language represents time.
Yes, the personality of the people and the soul of the movie itself. The language is
It's perfect for the movie.
Yes, really perfect.
Right, so you would say that the language in the movie represents exactly what the movie wants to show.
Exactly.
Okay, that's great.
Yes, like the language is very important for
As
that
if it
movie.
was
Yes.
like the
And I
setting of
think
the
it
movie.
is really adequate for the movie.
Okay, great, that's great. So, I think that's all for now. Thanks for coming, and don't you miss the amazing movie Captain America: The First Avenger. I'll see you next week talking about the new release, The Avengers. Thanks for watching and keep in touch.
Thank you.